So without further ado, let's welcome Julieth.
Good night, everyone. My name is Julieth Luna Garcia, and I want to get to know me through my history. I prefer Julieth. I am transgender woman. I am from El Salvador, who recently arrived in this country. I was so excited. I am a resilient woman who has faced many situations of discrimination and vulnerability to do my gender identify. I have constantly fought to achieve my goals and defend my right to be visible and respect me. In my country, my life was so painful. I remember so many history about that, but I try to talk about one because, I lived through so many difficult situations in my country, but that needs not limited. I enjoy my life because I did so many things I want to do. I joined dancing and cheerleading in my country, and I was the only transgender woman. Was like I did one dreams because when I was studying in the school, I wanted to do that, but I never could do. Because if you have sex, then say you need to do something if you are man or if you are woman. It's so difficult that. But when I was young, I am still young, but I was young. I did that, and I went to Guatemala too for that, and I was so excited because I say, wow, I don't believe it, I am doing that. But it's reality I was doing. One of my brother achievements in my country was legally change my name. Because for me it was so difficult when I was studying my school, but when I was studying in the university, was more painful because I make my transition and I look woman, but my teachers always call me for my old name and my gender. I don't identify with that, but they still call me like that. And I told them, my name is Julieth, you need to call me Julieth, but then say no, because your legally name is not Julieth. And I say, but you can. But it's so difficult because the culture is very, very, very difficult. You can change somebody. If the still is old, it's more difficult. But I fought until I should, and I made my history because in El Salvador, it's not allowed if you want to change your name. Because don't say if you have your name, if you are man, your name is like man. If you are woman, your name is la woman. But what happened with the people don't identify with that name your parent put you? It's not my decision. I was small when I born. I didn't decide I want this name. But when I was young, I know who I am. But the process is so difficult because it's not allowed in El Salvador for change the name. But I say, I want to try to make the history because the new people is coming, the transgender people is coming, will be easier for them. If I can do that, I will do. So I was so excited when I was working with some organization for transgender people, and then say me, you wanna change your name? I said, of course. I want, I wish. And they say, okay, but this process is so long and so hard. But I tell them, I want to do, I need, and I wish. because I don't feel okay when somebody call me this name because it's not my identify. So I tried to do, but in one article in the Constitution that's talk about the right to do name, because it's the name your father or your mother put, if you don't know identify, you can change and then say me, oh, we can do for this part of the Constitution. But we don't know if the lawyer can do or no, because it's so difficult. So the process was long, around 2 years, and I went to so many places to try to change and come probably who I am. Because if you look me, I am woman. But in the government, when I was going the institution, they say, why? Why you wanted to change your name? You have one name. This is your name. Your parents give you this name. And I say, but it's not mine. Because now I can do anything I want. And I am, and I know who I am, and I want to change. And you need to do your work, because you work for the government. But I say, I will try. One day can I do. After 2 years, I did. I have memory of that day. Was so wonderful, so happy. I don't believe it that day. Was so difficult because I could only change my name, not my gender. But I say, I could. In the future, I can in the future change my gender, because now I had my real name. And I say will be maybe easier, because one door is open now. For me and from everybody want to do this. So I was crying that day after the court. I was crying because I don't believe it that. And I went for the graduation for my university too, because I want to graduate with my name. And I finished my university 2020, but I graduated last year before come here. I was also the first trans woman to graduate from the University of El Salvador legally with my name and with my clothes that matched my gender. Nobody can say me no. For that I went long time, around maybe 3.5 years, but I say I will do. I thought always I say I will do. If that is possible, I can do. Another aspect where managed to make history for new people who wish to do so. These wins were difficult to achieve, but I have always found regardless of the obstacles, so that future generation won't have to find. Because the door was open, somebody can go and do that. Nobody can say you can do, because now I am the referent. In this word mentioned that the quality of life for trans people in El Salvador is terrible. All our rights are violent, and it is difficult to have a decent life. We experience discrimination in very part of our lives, from government institutions to families themselves, living most of us living in precarious condition. In my country, not all transgender people can to do or can to go to a school because it's so difficult. Sometimes when you say your family are young trans or are young LGBT people, they get off from their house. It's so difficult, and some people living in the streets doesn't have house, doesn't have job. It's so difficult. But me, I think I was lucky because my mother always, she helped me for everything. Another thing is the police authorities are immune to make perpetrator of violence against women and the LGBTQ population. Homophobia and transphobia are constant realities experiences daily. There is always a fear of becoming the next victim in a long list of women who are murdered or disappear simple for being who we are. Nobody investigation when somebody is died, then say, he's not good person because he's trans. Maybe he was or she was doing something bad for that. Somebody killed them. Nobody investigation about that. Now it's more difficult because in the school, nobody can talk about LGBT people. It's so difficult for me because I have so many friends in my country, and then tell me now it's worse. If you go outside, you have a scare because you don't know if you can again your home. But I believe one day that can change. I am grateful to the change that rewrites my history. Recently in this country, I thought the resentment process has been full of my emotion. Some is easier, but someone is difficult because adapting a new culture, new language, is so difficult. I remember when I come the first day and I say, how can I talk with somebody because I don't speak English? I never believed I will come this country, but now I am here. One of the most difficult situations I faced when I read in this country, I was feeling alone, and I say, I don't know nobody here. How can I do something if I want? If I want to go someplace, how can I go? But now I go anywhere I want. I still remember that moment when I read in the Houston airport. I have here around 1.5 years. My process happened so fast. I remember one day, one boy from another organization talked with me and said, you wanna go outside from this country because I know for you this country is not good for your life. And I say, I wish, but I don't know nobody outside from this country. He told me, let me talk with my organization, give me your number phone, and I will let you know. After 1 month, 5 organizations called me. You wanna go outside for this country and save your life? I said yes. My process was around 6 months. After 6 months, the organization called me. You will go to the United States. We don't know which state, but you will go. The process is approved. And I didn't believe it. I was working And after that, I cried because I say, how in second the life can change. Because I was worrying few minutes in this country, and now I have new news. And I say, now I can change my life. So after Houston airport, I read in Chicago. Not knowing who the people were that were going to receive me was a little frustrated. Not know anything about this country made me feel frustrated and worried. I cried many things without knowing what to do, but another part of me was very happy to have the opportunity to come here and know that my life will have a different history than the one I live in my country. I have the support of the team of volunteers from Railroad. That is the organization who bring me here. And from the organization itself is gratifying. It was very important because adapting to a different culture and language is difficult. They were support me in everything I needed, such as obtaining my document. I want to leave a message for other people who want to hear or know my history. We can always emerge victorious from any obstacle that life presents us if we learn to love ourselves and fight for our goals. Nothing in life is impossible if we believe in our capacities and abilities. No matter how difficult the road is, there will always be a way out. We should never let ourselves be defeated by fear on the opinion of others. We can do this life to life and be happy. Thank you.